Episode 321.
Ah, I get it now.
Yeshu replied with a smiley face. Blue River had no doubt about the feasibility of a guide. He knew Lord Grimm's identity. It was the great god Yeshu. For him, whipping up a dungeon guide was child's play. Blue River just thought back to all those record-breaking runs. Everyone had been stunned, wondering, how the hell did they pull that off? And now, the answer seemed to be right in front of him.
Can I ask you something?
What is it?
Why pick Bluebrook Guild?
Chosen? You've got it wrong. I wasn't choosing. I just randomly clicked on a guild to ask. If you don't want it, I'll just move on to the next guild.
I see. I really do want it.
Then we can talk price.
But we can't take it this time. We have an agreement with Tyrannical Ambition. They don't touch the dungeon records in Glazed Lands, and in return, we don't touch the records in One Line Gorge.
Oh, in that case, you've missed a golden opportunity. What a pity.
Can I book the dungeon record strategy for Blazing Forest?
Let's talk about that later.
Hearing Lord Grimm say that, Blue River felt a pang of frustration. He really dreaded those words, "We'll see." Back when he hired Lord Grimm to run the dungeon, he heard "we'll see" a few times, and in the end, Tyrannical Ambition snatched the first clear.
I reckon tonight's record will go to Tyrannical Ambition 2. Are you sure you don't want to study the guide and give him a real scare?
I really do want to.
Blue River meant every word. Had he known it would come to this, he never would have made that deal with tyranny.
What a shame.
Yeshu felt a pang of regret for Blue River, then selected a new target from his friends list. These were all guild leaders who had tried to recruit Lord Grimm before, and who were absolutely obsessed with breaking records. That was a pure accident for Bluebrook Guild, otherwise there's no reason they'd refuse. Sure enough, the leader of the Misty Rain Guild, once he received Yeshu's message, immediately sent back a drooling emoji. Upon hearing there was a fee, the guy sent another weeping emoji, then immediately asked for the price. In just a few words, the deal was struck in a matter of moments. Yeshu's prices were always honest, a clear sign he knew the market inside and out. That made haggling pointless, neither side could fool the other. However, since this was their first collaboration, there were still some details that needed to be ironed out. After all, Yeshu wasn't personally taking over the account this time. If he were, he'd have full control over the record, but he was only selling a strategy guide. He could guarantee the guide itself was flawless. But whether Misty Rain's players could perfectly execute the strategy's requirements was completely beyond his control. The Misty Rain Guild leader wanted to pay the materials after they'd set the dungeon record. Yeshu insisted his strategy was flawless. Whether you could pull it off was your problem. You get the guide, you pay the materials, whether you can pull it off after that is up to you.
Bro, if you put it that way, what if your guide says the boss can be one shot? That's something we obviously can't pull off.
The leader of Misty Rain said,
That's not true. The guide is a process written through extensive simulation of real data and calculations. It's entirely within the bounds of what's realistically achievable.
The two of them argued back and forth on this point for a long time, but in the end, they couldn't reach a decision. The leader of Misty Rain, however, had lost all the decisiveness he'd shown when haggling over the price. He hesitated and hesitated and hesitated, unable to make up his mind. Yeshu, however, remained remarkably patient, simply explaining his strategy. He first approached Bluebrook Guild, claiming it was a random click. But it wasn't random at all, it was a random excuse, a casual remark, and that's the truth of it. Selling strategies was different from him personally taking over an account that relied on Yeshu's own skill. So even a small guild like Moonlight, if they hired Yeshu, snatching a record would be as easy as child's play. But selling a guide is different. A guide is just theory on paper. Whether you can actually execute it is another matter entirely. Take these small dungeons, for example. What veteran player doesn't know how to run them? But why are most of the records still held by the top 3 guilds? The answer is skill. Even with a guide, you still need the corresponding ability to execute it. Major guilds undoubtedly had the advantage in talent. Take Zhongyu's 5-man team, for instance. In Yeshu's view, they were perfectly capable of using this guide to achieve an outstanding result. Their superior skill and strength naturally translate to flawless execution of the strategy. Guilds without such talent, of course, would be at a slight disadvantage. They were all equally confident about poaching Lord Grimm to carry them. But when it came to buying a strategy to execute themselves, a guild like Misty Rain, which wasn't top tier, would hesitate. The Misty Rain Guild leader wasn't actually doubting the guide's authenticity. His real worry was that his guild lacked the talent. What if they got the guide but still couldn't deliver results? That would be like drawing water with a sieve, all for nothing. No one wanted to see that happen, so the Misty Rain Guild leader was keen to keep the option to return the goods. Return it. Yishu didn't agree, but he understood their position, so he didn't push the matter too hard. Even if he'd approached a different guild, their leader would likely have shared the same concerns as the Misty Rain Guilds. Misty Rain Guild was one of the more capable among the remaining guilds, so Yeshu now reassured its leader.
You can be 100% confident about the strategy. There aren't any particularly obscure or complex maneuvers. Just get a few top-tier players to practice and grind it out, and it'll be a sure thing.
After another long pause, the leader of Misty Rain finally responded, albeit with great reluctance.
Sigh. All right then.